See if that's any better. Sometimes I really hate this.
Olivia, I want your iPad. And it's not going in there either. No, it is not going in here.
Alright, hold on.
I thought you were doing it in the living room. Undo it. Stop it!
Alright.
now!
This should be working a little bit better. Hold on 1 second, guys.
It can't fit in here. You're going to bust it. Now get it in the living room. Get it in the living room. You're going to break it, and that costs money. Get it in the living room and stop arguing with me. And you call you put that in the bedroom too. Tomorrow morning, when you take a shower, okay? I want you.
Alright. So for some reason, OBS is not being very kind right now. Okay. Seems like it's working okay. A little bit better now. Alright. We'll turn this up. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm doing load order stuff. I am also... I'm using separators for probably the first time. Yes, it is salmon colored. This is basically what I have so far. Let me see if I can just pull this up on my phone real quick. It's been pretty much a madhouse at my house tonight. So both my nieces are here, and neither one of them likes to listen to anything. So if you hear some background noise, that's a almost 13-year-old and a 9-year-old that you can't seem to drag them off their almost 13-year-old and a... Okay. Phone seems to be working okay. If it gets pretty bad, I'll mute it. Obviously, they live here with me, so unfortunately, I have to deal with it when I try to do this. And anyway, so yeah, separators. Never used them before. Rooster was on me to actually do it. So yeah, I implemented them in. They're pretty easy to do. It's like the categories for console logical load order. I obviously have them named different things because my load order is completely different on PC than it would be on console. So I just make up my own categories as I go. The plugins pretty much stay the same. Plugins don't have them. Just your left panel. I do have to remember to keep bringing alternate start back down here. We're doing pretty good. We're only at 102 plugins and just over 230 total mods. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. My core mods and foundations, I think I mentioned this last time, could possibly be combined category. But foundation things sometimes vary. These core mods will probably not ever vary unless I'm adding Dear Diary or something like that to them. They're pretty much all staples now, and with the addition of the uncapper, it should be fine. This is definitely going to be an interesting one, but we'll have to see. The script extender I keep above anything just because it's mandatory. Like I said, it's the reason why you do this on PC in the first place. Obviously, stuff like this, music's going to have one category, loading screens. I'm only going to pick one. On PC, you can get away with multiple ones. I tried multiple ones on console, and it's a waste. It's a waste of a mod slot. It's a waste of a mod. They're not even really needed. I just do it on PC because I can, and I have the space for it, and the machine can definitely handle the extra. What I don't have is a main menu replacer. Regardless of whether you're console or PC, the game seems to boot a little bit faster without one. The only one I was going to take would be the spinning Imperial symbol. But I just opted not to take anything at all, so left it as is. We are now running both Audio Overhaul and Immersive Sounds Compendium together with the Synergy patch. We're going to be getting into the weapons and armor stuff pretty soon, so I have the consistency patch for immersive weapons and lore weapons expansion. They're the two weapon packs that I run. So that's what the notes are for, and it's also why they're not ticked. You can ignore the 3.0. It's just for a patch. Doesn't really mean anything. Skyrim Realistic Overhaul is not in this. We're using Noble as a base. So Noble's right here. Okay. While I was going to run all of Wine Dave's mods, I opted not to run all of them. In particular, not his landscape. I am going back to Matthews for a lot of stuff. I'm running Wine Dave's shores. I'm running his snow, Hyperbian. I am running his mountains, the UFHD. So it's basically a majestic variant, and the dark version contains moss in it for like it's the 2K version. It's like, I forget the amount, 240 something megabytes. It's a space saver. It looks just as good as Majestic with the moss rocks. You know, for the savings of space and the fact that it doesn't really alter anything else, and you don't need specific patches for it. It's great. Wine Dave's Blended Rose redone. I went over this one the last time. Keeping that in. So we're still using a lot of his mods. Solstheim Landscape Overhaul, which I believe is being written. Okay, so just some basic underground. Okay, that's normal to see. So my Solstheim's going to look completely different. And then Mossy Whiterun Stone Floor. This is Wine Dave's for the grading on the roads here. Or I'm sorry, the moss in between the cobblestones. So I can't talk tonight. Looks fantastic. It's going to be a nice touch with Matthews, I think, but running both of them together. What am I exiting out of? Okay. What else? What else? Let's go back to... So, I left off... What did we do? I was getting to Underground. I think I did that. North Shores is now redundant because of Skyrim 3D landscapes. That is good to know. Okay, so we're not going to be using this mod. When it's redundant, it means it does not show up. Oh, we got to remove it. That's what the I found that out via Rooster. That gray lighting bolt, not the yellow, but if it's like grayed out, or I guess it's like whited out, or whatever you want to call it, it means it's redundant and it won't show up at all. So you won't see anything with it. It won't overwrite anything. It won't be overwritten. It just won't be there. Waste of mod space again. So Underground. This is T4G, massive mod. Basically encompasses everything. It's huge. It's a huge file. 1.1 gigabytes, and then the optional Whiterun tower fix.
No, there's a plug in there.
All these right here, they're insane. Amazing textures. They all look really great. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold on. Okay, there we go. They had all day to be noisy and be outside, and they chose to play on devices. So, alright, let's get out of this one here. So yeah, we're using Wine Dave Snow Hyperbian, Better Dynamic Snow and Ash, both those two mods. Love them. We are going to overwrite some of the stuff from Underground with Rudy's HQ, his Nordic ruins. These are the absolute best Nordic ruins I've seen. John Rose has come close, but I think Rudy's wins out in this for me. It's one of those where it's a toss-up. Now, Rudy's also offers a couple other things, which John includes in some of his Skyline mods. So these are all added on. Obviously on PC it's a little bit different. But we're also overwriting the Dwarven ruins are geckos. CCs are the mines and caves. Ari's snow off ruins. So a lot of this, like I said, I've been bouncing back and forth between the Yasht and the Nordic guide. Right? Swapping places, stuff like that. When we get down here to LODs, basically just dying to LOD resources, HD LOD textures. The only other things I'm running LODs for are my trees, my 3D trees. So let's just we'll quickly do. Quest is basically reserved for Legacy and the enemy and my enemy. The paintings and the fake cards, just the textures, right? Ordinator we're running with, and Andromeda Winter Sun. I'm not running Thunderchild in this setup. He's not going to be learning additional shouts. Not that it's going to save me much space because it's not a huge mod, but the way that I'm changing his style up is he's actually going to take on some thief skills as opposed to being just a vampire. So we will be, we will be doing Legacy. Trade and barter is actually going to come in handy. I will eventually tweak this, just to see. Andromeda obviously for the stones, Winter Sun for the fates. He's obviously going to be a follower of Molik Bal, just like he was before. So like I said, yeah, the patches here for Organized Bandits. I do have the Modern Brawl fix. Jay's containers already in there. Hone Metal I have. Helmet Toggle. I'm still running Visible Favorited Gear. I had the issue of, on occasion, when I would switch from magic in my right hand to the sword that I would take off my back, using Finis and XPMSE, on occasion the sword would get stuck in my hands. I could still cast the spell, but it would show the sword. Then when I go to sheath it, the sword would still be there. Come to find out, I just need to drop it to the very, very bottom of the plugins tab, or the right pane. Very bottom over here, under everything. So, and then there's another one, I forget the name, I think it's called Get Good, which basically, let's see if I can pull it up here real quick. I'll use one of these and I'll go there that way. I hate like adding a new Nexus link. So you could even see up here, Obsolete, use all geared up derivative. That's the name of it. I'll show you right here. So when you go to the visible favorited gear, it's the first thing you see here. This mod is Obsolete, use all geared up derivative, all good. Open this link up. I don't have this installed yet. I'm still... What's up, Soner? What's going on? So as you can see, with visible favorited gear, this is why people on Just Console question it. It's only needed for versions. So there's two versions now of this. 3.1. You also need the vanilla skeleton, which nobody runs on PC. So I'm still using version 3.0 with XP SE skeleton. But this one actually requires SKSE. I'm assuming that's why it's been rendered obsolete. It's in a mod that's been out for quite a while. This original upload was when the game came out. All Geared Up actually does a lot of stuff. You can see he's got a staff, he's got a bow, a greatsword, another staff that's dual sheath, and he's also carrying, I think, like he's got everything. Bows are back. The shield on the back, right? Like, it's a little obsessive. A dagger. I mean, look at that. Look at the poor guy. It's crazy. It's like, but it looks cool. I mean, if you don't go overboard with it, like, there's going to be people that are going to want this mod and they're going to load themselves up with absolutely everything. Their characters are going to look retarded. It's going to be just ridiculous. That looks badass. You know? He's got the staff. You can see the bow. He's got the great sword. And it fits. But even still, that's still a little much. Still a little bit much. You can see him with the shield. The shield looks really nice, though. And I do like the cape. You could add other things like coils, instruments, and more. Control which of your weapons gets displayed using the MCM. Fashion is the real end game here. No disappearing or flickering display. No duplicate or invisible weapon. No force to avoid swapping directly between equipment. It's a major, major point there. So, I think there's a couple of it. Yeah, there's a couple. There's a how-to. This is how to install and apply. I'm assuming this is the showcase video. Didn't watch the first one. I did watch the second one. Obviously not compatible with visible favorited and Ectone's dual sheath and equipping overhaul. The Mead Keg backpack. Who's Couch Warriors he was making Lucian wear the Mead Keg backpack. Not this past one, the week before prior. But they're interesting. Speaking of backpack, I should probably add that in. Let me write that down on my list. Rooster gave me a really nice backpack. Let me see if I have it saved in conversation. I usually save most of my stuff. I'll pin it. Yeah, leather backpack special edition. This one here. Yeah, this one's definitely going in with the foam mod here. There's only 8 images for this, but I think I showed this before. This is the one that's got the shoulder straps, and with that ruler, it looked pretty good. With my Argonian Necromancer, it looked really, really good with the shoulder straps. So up, Ghost Man. Just doing some load order stuff. Hanging out. Yeah, so this will be the backpack he'll use. Like I said, it'll probably be the black variant. This is the original. I was very tempted to use the original, but he's tending to wear darker colors, so. And you could see the difference between the with straps here and then without. Still looks good without, but with the clothing style and everything that my character is going to be using, we're going to use the one with straps. They do look the best if you're wearing clothing or robes of any kind. If you're wearing any usually type of armor, it tends to clip up on the where the pauldrons are. In this case, where the fur armor is. Hide and scaled are a little different, and then obviously glass would clip. The elven would probably clip, so wouldn't make much sense. I'll have to keep that up there. So what am I doing? Let's see. Let me go back to my list here. Survival and others. I don't really run a lot of survival stuff, and I need extended. You can see over here the ESP. I just have the I need ESP. I figured I'm playing a vampire. I am still going to have my needs on, but he's going to be feeding constantly. Combat feeding is part of his battle repertoire. So I really don't need to worry about it. And it saves me a plug-in slot, even though I think the extended counts as an ESL and not just an ESP. But yeah, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, and plus I set better vampires to not include food and drink, normal potions, and healing magic anyway. So yeah, I could collect them to sell them, but then again, I could just stock up on gems and sell them because they're worth a hell of a lot more. So that's what we're doing. We're still going to run I Need. It'll still be active in the beginning of the game. That's probably the last time you'll see it being used, because I'm going to be combat feeding constantly. I made the decision to go back to Vadosprum because I am running the 1K Brighter Green, the add-on for it. I was going to run it with Northern Grass. I've always been a big fan of Vadosprum. Verdant's still my number one, but it's not compatible with TPOS 2. So I have to go to my second, which is Vadosprum. Northern made a really good case, though. And then this is going to be the addition. Let's see. It's a brighter green, right? This is version 1. This is version 2. This will be out near the tundra. You'll see it all over the place. I think you get a nice mix of grasses anyway. With the landscape I'm running, with the trees I'm running. I think I have like 2 tree mods. Okay. Just close this out here. Where is it? Let's do weathers first. Stuck with Cathedral. Stuck with Cathedral. I have not. I have EMB itself installed, but I do not have an EMB installed. If that makes any sense. Cathedral Weathers and Seasons, because I was going to go back to Obsidian, but I'm thinking, here's the compromise. I'm getting Obsidian is a base with Cathedral, plus everything else that it does. And I like it. And I guess I can kind of say I like them both equal now at this point. I ran Obsidian for nearly 2 years straight since it was released. And it was my go-to. It is still one of my go-tos. Cathedral is obviously a lot larger. There's a little bit more in the way of customization. Plus the MCM here. I mean, obviously that's its own thing. And then of course, there is an audio patch. I believe there would have been one for Obsidian as well, with the audio overhaul. Then let's see. Normal stuff, Cathedral or Ethereal Clouds, the AK Night Skies. This is the Lore Blue version. Is it? Hold on. Lore Blue. I don't know. I would never take an 8K Sky. I think that's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, 4K Lore Blue. One of the few 4K mods I have. Oh, the GPU got to sort. That's awesome. So yeah, we can probably get this thing rolling now. I probably can't speak about that on here. I'm gonna leave it at that, just because there's other people that I know early tomorrow morning may watch this stream, and then figure it out. We're trying to keep it on the DL. But that's definitely a good thing. I'm gonna see what I could do a little bit later on in the year when it comes to some other stuff. I think I'm gonna just pony up the money for a GPU myself. Just whatever's new. I might get one just like the one that I have. So, or not GPU. What am I talking about? The CPU, the i7 9700K. Because they're not. Well, when I bought it, it wasn't cheap. So we'll have to see. What else is redundant now? Death Bells by Mari. What is overwriting that? Forgotten retake. Okay. Well. Not cool. I'm gonna have to move my, I have to start moving some stuff around here. Hold on a second here. Alright. Yeah, this is what I hate seeing. And you got to put them like right underneath. That's the thing. Where is it? Forgotten retext product, right up there. Okay, so now, then you can see how Death Bells now is going to overwrite Forgotten Retext Project. Now it's not redundant. If I click on conflicts here, you can see it's overwriting Forgotten Retext, the Death Bells. That's exactly what we want. It's the beauty of doing this. Just take your time, go slow with it. So you can see, obviously, with the separators, it makes things a little easier to read. You're going to have a bunch more colors on there, but worth it. I consider these are my combat stuff that I have going on right now. This will be added to. So just Wildcat, Mortal Enemies, Ultimate Combat, Revenge of the Enemies. I may add a movement mod. But I think with the Uncapper, I'm not going to need it. His combat's going to be hard enough. and he's not going to be gaining levels as fast as he would. And with Organized Bandits, he's going to be taking on more than your standard fare. Moral Loot and TPOS are going to adjust the level lists and the loot level lists. So overall, it's going to make it really difficult. I start at Master difficulty. I'll be bumping it up to Legendary, probably still within the teens, and we'll be going from there. And then if it winds up at some point getting too easy, I could just go into the skill uncapper, and I can tweak the settings there to make it harder again. So we'll have to see. Who knows? Maybe starting on Master with the settings like this is going to make this character even harder. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I've been taking my time. So lesser textures. CC's Fort Dawnguard and his Castle Volkihar. Then Skyhaven Temple. The Hall of the Greybeards, there's two of them. This is the dark mesh version. So the whole entire Hall of the Greybeards monastery. And then the High Wrathguard textures redone. Chantry College, that's an amazing freaking mod. And the LOD for it as well. You can also see what else am I using for that clutter. Furniture, farmhouse. Oh yeah, trees. 3D trees and plants, Matthews. Also his Solstheim 3D trees patch. It's not his patch, but it's the patch for his mod and the trees and Solstheim to make them compatible. And then every tree different, ETD. I love this mod. Good size, but well worth it. And you need 3D trees to run it. So then we also have 3D Gildergreen. This is for the planters. Then the billboards for that. Then his 3D landscapes and the ground cover, 2K. I never take 4K ground cover. I think it's pointless. I mean, if you have a better rig and you want to run it, be my guest. I don't want to see the FPS loss, and 2K looks great. So the landscape billboards, and then landscape fixes all the way at the bottom, even under my mushrooms. But I'm wondering, the death bell is not going to do anything. City overhauls, we have a small listing of some of the great city mods. Quaint Raven Rock, Winterhold Restored, which is a staple for me. I only have these in here because A, Nesbit doesn't have a version of them, and B, I don't want to use the Arthmore mods because I do not enjoy Vanilla Plus looking city, especially if it's a major one like Falkreath. I'm also I was a pretty big fan of the Great City mods, except for some of the nav issues. The downside is that I'm not running anything for Solitude. I have Dawnstar, Falkreath, Dragonbridge, and Rorikstead. You'll see the legendary cities is up here with my note, place after TPOS. That's where it goes. That's where Nisbet requires it to go with the patch underneath it. But I do have it active to remind myself. So yeah, Solitude's the only one that's not. No, so I have an i7 9700K, not a 99. I don't think I'll be updating it this year. Maybe next year. Like maybe when it's a year old, I'll just get whatever the newest one is. Like whatever the top of the line, you know. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a couple other games that come out that I'll eventually wind up playing. But as it sits now, everything else is pretty good. Yeah, it's an i7 9700K Intel. I mean, it's pretty good. It was expensive when I bought it. back in April, but I don't think it had been out very long. Well, it had been out for a while, but there was other stuff that was out that I could have bought instead. I was still on budget too, so. But let's see here. Ours handcart and ours farmhouse. So I was in the middle of talking. This is right before Nesbitt left for the evening. I was asking him. I said, like, I'm trying to figure out a farmhouse texture. I always use ours, and then I was comparing against all the other ones, and it just brought me back full circle to ours. It's the best one, in my opinion, on Nexus. The handcarts have to go after ELFX. That's what that means. The 3D stone walls, which will eventually overrun or overwrite CC's carts. Although I think with the handcarts, it just changes the mesh. It doesn't change the textures. You get the textures from CC's, you'll get the mesh from ours. And then sale stuff, a lot of 3D furniture and the cement patch, rustic furniture. These all go together. You will see a couple of them overwrite, and will be Noble itself and SMIM. So yeah, then you can see all the 3D. This is all mathy stuff. 3D signs. Now some of them are individual, but so we get up to instruments. We're doing like gems. I'm kind of just putzing around with this. So like I said, I've been going back and forth between Nordic and the Yash guide. Just taking my time. I never get the door mods. I figure like whatever Noble has, or if I had a city retexture that included the doors. Like if I was gonna run John Rose's Solitude, he already has the door textures there, so I don't really need to run anything else. I think the only other thing I'm gonna run is animated clutter. This is one I have perms to port to console. And I should probably get around to it because I've had them for a while. And then I just never did. And then testing took precedence. So we'll have to see. And my Wi-Fi on my phone is shitting the bricks. Thank you, Wi-Fi, for being a piece of crap. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Ryzen stuff. Like I said, I started to look into it, but I was already familiar with Intel. And then I had basically two people tell me to just steer clear of Ryzen stuff for now. One of them being John Rose, and then one of them being my buddy Jeff. And Jeff's been, he's been in like different, like IT tech departments in various medical fields for the last like 15 years. To give you kind of an idea of what he does, as good as John Rose is with computers, like this guy's like 4 times as intelligent when it comes to the PC side of it. He's been doing it his whole life. Like literally since he was a kid, he's been building PCs since he was a child. He's a genius. He's a brilliant genius. He's got a shit ton of money. What's up, Mr. B? Animated clutter. Yeah, so like I said, I will eventually get around to porting this to console. Don't know how it's gonna run. There's no requirements, right? It's a fairly simple mod. I'll eventually get around to porting it to console. Like I said, this is back when I was like taking ports, and I think I was putting like a bunch of them out. all at once, and we want to install everything. And the README, of course. But no more requests. I stopped with that. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something if I want. Like Legendary Cities was something I wanted to do for a while. It was one that I saw people ask for. They just weren't asking me to do it, but nobody else wanted to port it. So, and I run the mod all the time. I have, like I said, I have it loaded here. Where is it? It's up above. You're here somewhere, right there. They're gonna drop you down loader, or lower in the loader later. All the L's. What are we doing? What are we doing? Let's check. Yeah, let's go back and forth. We'll check Yashed, and then one new addition to my setup is immersive jewelry. Immersive jewelry is massive. It's over a gig. Let's visit it on Nexus. Because what this does is it does exactly what it says it does. It is not only a synthesis of nearly every jewelry pack or mod on the Nexus, but an expansion of them all several times over, including retextures, level lists, and both a new crafting and new enchanting system. This mod turns jewelry from mere dress-up accessories into an integral part of the world treasure. Now, there's no real requirements for this mod. Let's take a look at some of the pictures. This also includes left-hand ring versions. As you can see, we'll go through some of them. I'm mostly interested in the headwear and in the amulets. You will start to find things like this on enemies. Uh-oh, I see purple texture in the book in the back there. Somebody's... I don't know if they noticed that. That's not supposed to be there. But, I mean, I didn't really realize that this mod existed until, God, yesterday. I was about to leave work and I stumbled across it. It's probably been out for quite a while. A lot of people probably use it. And I'm not really one for, like, the jewelry side of it. But my character is going to be a vampire. He's going to be, you know, on the cleaner side, so to speak. Dunmer, obviously, still. But whether he wears something like this, probably not. But it does give you the option for male earrings. Obviously, the female earrings are quite nice. Some of them, if I can, well, you can see them. This just looks beautiful by itself. We've all seen, you know, every female character on the planet, you know, dressed up, you know. Mostly concerned with circlets like this. This looks nice, right? It's fairly simple. It's not that far from vanilla. It's definitely, you know, different. You can see here. I think that it's gonna look good. And then obviously with the rings, yeah, that's another big bonus. You could have, I think, was it 4 or 5 rings? Sky UI functionality. Right. It's nice. So, but it's a massive mod. It's the main thing. It's a massive mod. Mm-hmm. I have an RTX 2070 Sonar. I think Rushu's got the RTX 2080. If he doesn't have the 2080, he's got a 2080 Ti. He's either 1 step or 2 steps up from what I have. Power is EVGA 650. 650 watt. 32 gigs DDR4, 3200 RAM. What else is important? Corsair H100i cooler, liquid cooled. The LL120 RGB fans by Corsair. I have 5 of those. The 2 fans that came with the case, I'm actually still running them along with the 5 other. Like I said, I have a total of 7 fans. And then plus the 3 from the GPU. You know, when it's being used, so things stay nice and cool. Just because this case had the option for it, and the 2 terabyte Samsung Evo SSDs. So, and then everything's RGB. Corsair Case 70. So it's not the top of the line keyboard, but it does the job for me. And just a Corsair Harpoon wired mouse. But I also had to spend stuff on stuff that like most people don't need to. Like I got a SteelSeries mouse mat, which the mouse mat was like $60 at the time, but it's massive. And then I had to buy the monitor. My monitor was $705 for the 279Q 27 Asus. So I spent the money on top tier stuff at the time back in April. Just because this needs to last me for a while. It's the only reason. It took me a long time to save up for it. Long time. Just cutting meals down to ramen. Or just a couple pieces of fruit here and there throughout the day. That's basically my budget. That also meant, not buying coffee in the morning. I'd buy a tin of coffee and make coffee every morning to take to work. Little things like that cut back. It goes a long way. Anyway, not talking about stuff like that. I should be worried about getting this done here. I've been literally putzing around with this most of the day. So you're between, let's see, the GTX 1660 Super, 1660 Ti. The RTX 2060 is a solid unit, dude. Solid unit. That's the one I would go for. You'll probably, I guess, I don't know what the 1660 Ti goes for price wise. You can pick up an RTX 2060 for not that much, less than you think. And now with Black Friday, Cyber Monday coming up, you're going to be getting some deals. I know Tanis was looking at a pre-built PC. I think he said it was for him and his kid. Because starting a mod plus play on PC, and John Rose, I think I oversaw the conversation. They were talking about it, and John was even saying, yeah, for what it is, you could definitely game Skyrim on it. You could mod on it. I think it was somewhere around the $1,000 mark ish, maybe a little bit less, $850, I want to say, for pre-built. But in a case like that, Tanis, I think he said he was going to be using it for other things too. Like it wouldn't just be for that, be for like work and schoolwork for his kid. So, but yeah, deals are going to be coming out. And John and a couple other people are probably the ones in the know. So if you want to know like what's good when those deals start hitting, don't flood them with questions. But I mean, they'll probably offer advice. They'll probably, like, John puts up links all the time of PC parts that are on sale or like what he thinks are like really good deals. And if he usually posts a link, if you're looking for something like that, probably jump on that if you can. I don't even know what I was doing. All right, so this is gashed. So they had some other stuff here. What was I doing? Animated clutter. Okay. So animated clutter adds this. We go to additional NPCs. I don't add additional NPCs. TPOS2 does that for me. We're going to get into the fun part, weapons and armor. Because I don't need any of this other stuff here. It's funny because the Ash guy goes in the... So like their weapons and armor's down here. Whereas I've already done all this. But just to show you, interesting NPCs. It's 3D NPC. Not on Nexus. That's this mod here. Update on Betamax. Alpha. I get the joke. That's funny. I forget how big is the file here? This thing's massive. Downloads. Just to show you. I'm not going to be downloading it, but it's a cool mod. Yeah, you hit over here, you go download. I'm not going to download it, but it's a good size mod. Immersive patrols, obviously, no. Inconsequential NPCs, like I don't really need them. Plus, you have to do the water flow fix. And you gotta, fix the meshes. It's, old rim mod, so. We don't really need any of this. Let's get into the fun stuff, weapons and armor. Medium-born. We're gonna have fun. This is one of my favorites. And we want the blades patch. So we'll do armors. All the medium-born stuff is on the one page. Armors, creatures, dragons, Dragonborn DLC, unique items, weapons. We're going to take all except for creatures, I think. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, these 4. So we'll start with armors. Mod Manager download. And then while I do that, I get the blades fixed ready because you need the Medium-born armors by Cabal. No more ugly red triangles. That's right. No more ugly red triangles. This one takes a little bit. Ooh. Got to put in my, hold on. Separator. And I can't type tonight either. So we'll do weapons and armor. Now you can see it's as easy as moving these things. Hold on, let me cancel that. Because I put it in the wrong spot, you just move it right above and then the category moves itself. You could do this back and forth, just like a mod. So we got weapons and armor. Let's Medium-born Books of Silence. This one's gonna have a, what do we have to do with it? Everything except glass variants differently. Ebony. That's it. Okay. So we should be good. Go custom. Okay. So we want iron. I like the iron with the white fur. I like the steel with the white fur. I like steel. Well, we're going to take steel plate. We're going to take leather. I take Cabal's cut for the hide. You can flip back and forth between the pieces, but this says like the studs on the studded look a little bit better, right? Fur, obviously, take it. Elven dark, because it should be. Dwarven, looks amazing. Ancient Nord, yes. Orcish, I like the darker, not the brighter. Scaled, I like the brighter. Wolf, I take the gray fur. Glass, so you can't take the variants. So I take the Thalmarized or steel gray. I'm going to take the steel gray this time. Ebony, can't take the differently. I'm going to take the ebony silver. Looks pretty cool. Blades, yes, because we have the blades fixed. And Falmer, yes. Now, every time you go to install the Medium-born stuff, it's going to default to this. Whereas you can see right now, we just have armors. So let's install it. It's going to take a minute. And then you see my weapons and armor category. A Midian born. It's a lot of stuff. Now we have the Blades patch. Blades armor patch. That looks good. You want that right after the armor so that can overwrite it. Right there. If you refresh, you can see now it's overwriting. Okay. What do we get next? Weapons, Dragonborn, and unique items. Okay, so weapons is down here at the bottom. My manager download. Okay. For the weapons, we have to choose all but the Skyforge and delete the meshes folder. Simple enough. It's good to have the foam mod come up. We're going to do the same thing we did, except we're going to do one thing differently right in the beginning. We're going to change the name right off the bat. See how it says armors? It's always going to default to armors. We're going to change it to weapons, the one underneath. And all the stuff you could change it to is in this drop down here. You could manually write it in yourself. Like if you wanted to delete this, you could. But there's always going to be an option for it in here. So go custom. Next, we want Draugr, Dwarven, Silver, not Skyforge. Although that Skyforge does looks pretty cool. We're going to replace that. Staves and steel. Install. Yeah, I'm waiting to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It's gonna be like a week-long tradition, or they're gonna make like shopping for the holidays its own freaking holiday at this point. But I mean, you know, the deals are there, obviously, so I just don't know what I'm gonna be getting for myself because that's what I get myself. I get for myself. I obviously get for my family too, but no significant other, so I spoil myself a little bit. Dragonborn DLC. So, Mod Manager download. Yes. Requirements for this. Because I don't choose those creatures, I don't have to go to the file tree and hide these. And the bone mold hot mix from Mix. Okay. So that's going to be here. Must be installed. For the texture. We can do that. All right, we'll manually download that. Okay. So we have a Midianborn, Dragonborn. Go custom yet again. So Nordic, change the name. Dragonborn DLC. So you have black fur, brown fur. I like the white fur. Something about white fur in the north, just to me, is my thing. Bone mold, the acolyte mats. That's where I stop. These are the actual Dragon Priest acolytes. It's this. It's not the mask. Same with the Hulking Draugr. Same with the Ashbond. Same with the Ash Guardians. You could, for the textures, you'd have to rename it. I don't know why. Like, same place, store match deck folder, and delete it. I don't use them, so like I said, I don't worry about it. So we'll just go to install. And now I have to install the bone mold hotfix, which is now zipped up. Let's see. So it's going to show up right there. Cannot delete this. Same thing with the particles patch. Maximize it. Maximize this. What else did we do? We didn't do unique items. Okay. And this one's kind of interesting. And that's all for a medium board after this. Same thing. You'll have a phone mod. Change the name. Unique items. Custom. You want this. Charge of the Blooded. Wuthrad. Savior's Hide. White Fur. Again, for me. I like it. Although the like the brown fur looks pretty good too. I just like the difference. The Helm of Ingol. Mesa Molag Ball. Baron's Razor. Volendrung. Soon's Armor. So Ebony Mail. Also silver. I like to keep things as uniform as possible. And the gold ebony just, it doesn't do anything for me. Staff of Magnus. I leave this unticked. Well, I guess I could tick it, but you'll see why I'm going to change it in a second. Dragon Priest Mask. Install. And then what do we do with this? File tree, meshes, delete Staff of Magnus folder. Okay. File tree, meshes. And I hide. So this whole folder's hidden. You could delete it. I hide them. Weapons and armor. We have more weapons and armor. That's just the beginning. Aim board. Content add-on fixes. I'm not using complete camping. I'm sorry, it's not complete camping. It's a complete. Is it cooking, crafting? Let's find out. Hold on. I don't have CCOR. I forget the name of it. But. And I don't know why it brought me to this. That was weird. Rustic armors, no. Common clothes, yes. Yes, this is one, too, even on my old list. Where was it? Common clothes, immersive armors. And then there are patches for these. So, common clothes. Let's see. Do the 2K file, the main file. Yeah, I like the interesting NPCs mod as well. I'm just not a fan of. Here's the thing. I have quest mods in here. I have all of the TPOS2 content, right? So I mean that already adds a ton of stuff. Now, if I get stuck with like interesting NPCs or like inconsequential NPCs. Some of them talk to you. The interesting NPCs all, for the most part, have backstories. They all talk to you. Some of those conversations are so drawn out that you'll spend 40 minutes chatting with an NPC who doesn't do anything for you at the end of the time. Now, some of them can become followers. I think that's the one where, I don't know if it's Hoth or it's, another popular follower is included within that pack, but one of these days I'll get around to using it. So common clothes, bingo. And then patches. What's this gonna patch? Let's find out. ESP Lite, awesome. So we want armor and clothing extension. Just the one. Okay. Huh. kind of a waste even with the ESL. And that's how they show themselves over here in italics. And then obviously without any priority. Well, they have a priority, but you can see here. And then immersive armor is another big one. 1 gig. I haven't noticed have video for this as well. You know, whether or not may not be the case, I don't know. We'll have to see. So. Let's see, it should be done yet. Immersive farmers. This one takes quite a while. So we'll get immersive weapons. What else are we doing? Yeah, get rid of these. 1, 2, 3. Good. We also want the... Oh, I'm sorry. Emitting more textures for immersive armors. And the lore-friendly armor pack. But that's not what I'm doing. What else am I doing? Immersive armors. Cloaks of Skyrim and Bandolier. Okay. Cloaks of Skyrim and Cloaks of the Nords will do. How about that? I'm only going to be doing this for a couple more moments. I've literally been at this all day. So, like I said, it was mostly with the separators and everything, but I have to minimize this. I can't work with it like that. Let me just check against mine. Immersive armors. Oh, that's right. Yeah, emitting more textures. That's why I have it up. Okay. Full set, additional set. Has all the War Chief pieces, Vanguard torso. 980 if you got version 1.1 full set. Well, I want 1.1 full set. That's what I want. Keep it as it is. Just textures. Beautiful. Now, we can do Cloaks of Skyrim. Main version. Install. This one takes a while for some reason. For a mod that's small. I don't know why it does it like that. We also want Cloaks of the Nords, which I quite like. I've gotten very, very fond of this. To add this in. All right. So Cloaks of Skyrim, Cloaks of the Nords. Then we got Bandolier. I'm probably not even gonna use this mod for the most part. I will. We'll go back to conversation with Rooster. Where is the pin messages? Let's go back to this one. Yep. Okay. We'll throw the re-release leather backpack special edition. Because I may as well throw this now before I forget. So I have it. Re-release 01. I want the black, which is already highlighted. I'm going to select regular. So I have the shoulder straps. And I'm going to have 100 carry weight. Anything 300 is kind of ridiculous, but I mean, if you want a very, very slim backpack with a lot of carry weight, you just can't be bothered for it. Yeah, obviously 300 is your go-to, but for me, 100 always seemed enough. And then I'm playing this character, I'm going to be doing a little more thievery with him, even as a vampire, so he'll be very, very sneaky. 100 should be enough for me. Plus, we'll get 50 from the pickpocket perks. So there's another 100 right there. Read me and install. It's a fantastic mod, by the way. And I'm gonna run loot right now, just to see patches and things that I might have missed. I shouldn't have any errors. I have one error. What is the error? So let's go back and take a look at that. I wonder if there is a patch for this. I'm not really sure. I saw a bunch of language translations, but yeah, just the one file. Can't type. Yeah, alright, so no patches yet that I know of. Let me just double check. Immersive Jew. Yep. Earrings for male characters. Deutsch. Yeah, that's it. So that one error is going to stay there. It's not going to break anything. It's not going to do anything. It's going to annoy me, but that's about it. So I'm only going to do a couple more here. I may just get up to the weapons, I think, and then that'll be it for tonight. Like I said, it's almost going on midnight here. No winter is coming. Like I said, it's just too much at that point. Like I don't want to be adding everything in. I like the mod, but equipable tomes was something I considered. I may still consider it, but so that's going to be it for me, I think, guys. I've been up at this all day. I had a really rough morning. Long story short, if you know anybody that's ever suffered panic attacks and anxiety and depression and all that stuff, it kind of all just hit me at once. So I was up uber early, and just like from the second I woke up, it was just nonstop attack. So I haven't had one in a couple of years. That's why it kind of came out of nowhere for me. So I haven't been myself all day. So probably going to grab a couple bottles of water, go lay down, try to sleep. I'm supposed to work tomorrow, but I haven't been feeling all that great the last couple of days to begin with. So, and this was just the icing on the cake. So, everybody, thank you. Enjoy your night, and I will pop into Discord briefly, and then I'm going to GTFO. So have a good night, and I'll see you later. We're getting pretty close to Afterwar's story, by the way. Just a really quick side note on this. Mark Harth is being worked on. That's Nesbitt's next project. That's all I can say. The Mark Harth Heights should be completed. Might be the TPOS2 update that's coming tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know. It may be separate. It may be with whatever he plans to do to Mark Harth. But, yeah. Good night, Sonar. I'm off too, bud. I'll see you back in Discord. Yeah, I gotta get going. I could sit here and start talking. Once I start talking mods, I wake myself up and I gotta go to bed. I gotta start feeling better. All right, have a good night, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.